There's a version of you that only emerges in fleeting moments. The part that flares when someone crosses a line, when injustice confronts you, when you sense that you have been playing small in a life designed for bigger ambitions. Most people panic when that surge appears. They apologize for it, bury it under politeness, or call it immaturity. But that intensity is not your weakness. It is untrained power waiting to be disciplined. From childhood, society taught you a script. Be agreeable, follow instructions, stay predictable, smile to please, avoid confrontation. Useful for maintaining order, yet devastating for those destined for greatness. Psychologist Carl Jung called this hidden side the shadow, the traits we suppress because they make others uncomfortable. Drive, assertiveness, competitiveness, ambition. Ironically, these are precisely the traits required to rise above mediocrity. History shows that extraordinary individuals like Michael Jordan, Steve Jobs, and Serena Williams were not cruel. They integrated their intensity, disciplined it, focused it, and weaponized it toward extraordinary goals. Your hidden self is not an enemy. Your lack of training is. Ask yourself, which traits do I secretly admire but publicly suppress? When do I feel most alive? What would I do if I stopped seeking approval? Patterns emerge, and those patterns reveal the raw energy you've been neglecting. Being nice is not the same as being good. Kindness without boundaries is self-erasure. Research in psychology, including Albert Bandura's studies on self-efficacy, shows that individuals who act decisively are more successful not because they are aggressive, but because they are effective. History is filled with examples. Martin Luther King Jr., Malala Yousafzai, Nelson Mandela, who confronted danger boldly, earning influence not through passivity, but through principled action. The moment you replace, "I don't want to upset anyone," with "I will not betray myself to avoid discomfort," life begins to change. Emotions are signals, not commands. When you react impulsively, the amygdala hijacks rational thought. When you pause, the prefrontal cortex regains control. Calm is power. Imagine negotiations, conflicts, or opportunities where everyone else is emotional, yet you remain composed. The advantage is yours. When triggered, pause, relax your body, ask a clarifying question, and redirect energy strategically. Most people sabotage themselves through urgency, chasing instant results and recognition, leaving opportunities behind. Patience is not inaction, it is disciplined preparation. While others rush, you build skills. While others argue, you observe. While others burn energy proving themselves, you accumulate leverage. Am I reacting to the present or constructing the future? External victories mean little without internal mastery. Self-mastery is doing what is necessary, not what is comfortable, acting on principles rather than moods, and becoming reliable to yourself. Angela Duckworth's concept of grit shows that sustained effort toward long-term goals, not raw talent alone, creates achievement. Establish 3 non-negotiables daily: physical training, skill development, and reflection, and guard them fiercely. True power is emotional independence. When praise does not inflate you, criticism does not break you, and rejection does not define you, you are free. This is the state of leaders who do not chase validation. They radiate certainty. There is nothing inherently dangerous about ambition, intensity, or refusal to settle. Danger lies in leaving these forces undisciplined. The goal is not cruelty, but to become formidable, integrated, controlled, and intentional. The most respected people are not the loudest or most agreeable. They are those who know themselves, who cannot be manipulated, intimidated, or ignored. Ask yourself not whether to hide your power, but how to train it. Speak with conviction. Act with intention. Set boundaries without apology and pursue goals that intimidate you. When that surge of energy appears, the one you used to suppress, direct it, harness it, focus it. Life will not be built by the safe, cautious version of yourself. It will be built by the version who steps forward fully awake, disciplined, and unstoppable. Your intensity, your hidden drive, your silent calculation are not flaws. They are the foundation of power. The world rewards preparation, patience, emotional mastery, and strategic action more than charm or fleeting approval. Every time you restrain impulses, redirect energy, and accumulate knowledge, while others rush, you build leverage invisible to the impatient, emotional, and predictable. Love fades, respect persists. Pursue a version of yourself independent of external validation. Build discipline that does not depend on circumstance. Cultivate emotional fortitude that cannot be breached. Master patience, strategic silence, self-governance, and the inner architecture of power, because the untouchable individual is forged from internal sovereignty, not external applause. Start today. Speak deliberately. Act intentionally. Establish boundaries. Train your focus. Pursue discomfort with curiosity, and direct the fire inside instead of letting it control you. The future is constructed by the one who integrates their hidden strength, navigates chaos without surrender, and aligns ambition with discipline. Step into that version of yourself. Embrace the intensity you were told to suppress. Build an internal empire impervious to circumstance, betrayal, and weakness. Become formidable. Become unshakable. Become untouchable. Because the person who finally decides to harness their suppressed power is no longer a participant in life. They are a force that commands it. Your transformation begins now. And now, with that foundation in place, you must recognize that power is not given. It is cultivated silently, deliberately, and often invisibly while the world obsesses over appearances. Every decision you make, every boundary you enforce, every moment you refuse to react impulsively, compounds into a force no one can anticipate. The truly formidable do not announce their strategy. They move like shadows across the board, observing, measuring, calculating, and only acting when conditions are perfect. Imagine the satisfaction of sitting in a room where everyone else rushes, debates, and reacts, while you remain calm, collected, and aware, knowing exactly when and where to place your next move. That is leverage. That is power disguised as patience. You have been conditioned to fear confrontation, to apologize when none is necessary, to soften your ambition so others feel comfortable. But ambition is not a flaw. It is fuel. Every slight, every insult, every ignored opportunity is a spark waiting to ignite the disciplined fire within you. You must learn to convert disappointment into strategy, betrayal into insight, and frustration into focus. Observe the people around you. The ones who rise are never the loudest, nor the most agreeable, nor the ones who beg for recognition. They are the ones who master themselves first. They see the game others cannot see. They understand influence is measured not by how many people like you, but by how much they unconsciously follow your lead without realizing it. And this begins with self-discipline, which is nothing more than a daily commitment to yourself to act with purpose, to speak with intention, and to align every micro-action with your long-term vision. Start noticing what triggers your impatience, your fear, your need for validation, and confront it daily, like a general inspecting the weaknesses of his own army before the enemy arrives. Control over yourself translates to control over the environment around you. Your gaze, your posture, your silence, your carefully chosen words. These become weapons in a world where most give theirs away recklessly. You must also embrace solitude, not as punishment, but as training. In those hours alone, without distraction or applause, you refine the architecture of your mind, strengthen the scaffolding of your discipline, and cultivate the resilience that turns chaos into opportunity. No one else can build this for you. No mentor, no book, no seminar can insert the habits, the patience, or the strategic awareness directly into your mind. It is earned in isolation and repetition, in the moments when you choose discomfort over comfort, growth over ease, and vision over approval. And as you build this inner empire, understand that respect and influence are the natural byproducts, not the goal. People are drawn to those who are unshakable not because they demand it, but because the energy they radiate commands it subconsciously. Every insult that would have wounded you in the past, every rejection that once caused doubt, every betrayal that once broke your focus, all of it now becomes fuel, distilled into precision action and quietly accumulated leverage. You will find that those who underestimated you will eventually seek your counsel, envy your composure, and follow your lead without realizing why. The process is subtle. It is invisible to those who lack patience, but undeniable to those who matter. And do not mistake this power for arrogance or cruelty. It is neither. It is a result of mastering your impulses, calibrating your energy, and learning when to strike and when to observe. You must internalize the principle that the world will respond not to your desires, but to your readiness, your alignment, and the clarity of your purpose. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control preparation. You cannot control others, but you can control your influence over them. And in mastering that, you become untouchable, not by force, not by intimidation, but by the silent, unyielding authority of a mind that refuses to be controlled. Remember, life is a game of incremental advantage, where every decision, no matter how small, tilts the scales over time. Every habit you cultivate, every skill you refine, every boundary you enforce, every emotion you regulate compounds into an edge that cannot be replicated by talent alone. This is the law of compounding applied to personal power. The world may try to distract you with drama, approval, or the illusion of urgency, but your focus on mastery renders all distractions irrelevant. And here is the ultimate insight. The more unshakable you become internally, the freer you are externally. Rejection no longer stings. Failure no longer defines you. Betrayal no longer shakes you. Compliments no longer inflate you. Praise no longer distracts you. You move through life like water through stone, unyielding, patient, and quietly unstoppable. And when opportunity arrives, you will not fumble, you will not hesitate, and you will not be distracted by the noise of the world. You will strike with precision, seize what is rightly yours, and execute with clarity and calmness that most people never experience in a lifetime. Every empire, every achievement, every relationship that matters, every deal that transforms your trajectory is secured not by luck, charm, or external validation. It is secured by the discipline, relentless refinement of yourself, your habits, your mind, and your energy. So commit to the daily work, to the uncomfortable choices, to the patient observation, to the silence that conceals your plans, and to the mastery of your emotional, mental, and strategic faculties. Embrace the darkness you once feared, not as a path to destruction, but as a hidden reservoir of power you were never taught to access. Step into that force, direct it with precision, and become the version of yourself that the world cannot predict, cannot manipulate, and cannot control. Because knowledge without execution is illusion, strategy without discipline is fantasy, and power without self-mastery is nothing. Let every decision, every reaction, every breath be aligned with the principle that you are building a mind, a character, and an energy that cannot be broken. This is the untouchable, formidable, unstoppable self that exists within you now, waiting only for your permission to rise. And when you finally decide to rise, not with recklessness, but with awareness, intent, and relentless discipline, the world will recognize a force it cannot ignore, underestimate, or control. Your transformation begins not tomorrow, not when convenient, but in this very moment, as you take ownership of your mind, your energy, and your destiny, and choose to become the master of the one thing that determines everything, yourself.